Hi there everyone! Welcome back to my Green Studio channel. Our bida for today is another legend of Philippine cinema, but before that, let's watch our featured video for today. Can you see it? This is my actual capture of full moon that happened somewhere in April in the northern part of the country. Isn't it majestic, right? A full moon occurs when Earth is directly between the Sun and the Moon. It causes the lunar hemisphere facing us to be completely sunlit. Unlike other phases, a full moon is visible throughout the entire night. It rises at sunset, then peaks at midnight, and sets at sunrise. Full moon occurs roughly once a month. Don't you know that we can check the exact dates and times for the upcoming lunar cycles using the time and date moon phase calculator? The sun, earth, and moon align 180 degrees difference. Shadows are cast directly away from our line of sight. This makes craters and lunar marks harder to see. That's why the moon appears bright and flat. There's a lot of folklore if we say about full moon, but I think they are not true, so let's not talk about it. Hey guys, ¿qué pasa? So that's Spanish for what's up. Ang tampok sa ating video for today ay isang aktor at direktor na halos naging kasabayan ng ama ng pelikulang Filipino na si Jose Nepomuceno. Siya ay si Don Vicente Salumbides. Kilala siya bilang isang direktor, producer at aktor. Ayan po siya nung kanyang kabataan at very matikas din, no? Napaka-Espanyol ang datingan. Itinuturing din siyang tagapanguna ng pelikula sa Pilipinas at second father of Philippine movies. Tinagurian din siyang the other pioneer. Si Vicente ay ipinanganak sa bayan ng Lopez, lalawigan ng Quezon noong August 31, 1893. Ang kanyang mga magulang ay sina Don Pio Salumbides at Doña Trinidad Aranillo. Kilala ang kanilang mayamang pamilya sa Lopez, Quezon Province, kaya nakapag-aral si Vicente sa magandang institusyon at sa ibang bansa. Pagkatapos ng kanyang elementarya at high school dito sa Pilipinas ay ipinadala siya sa Amerika. Nag-aral siya ng Bachelor of Law sa University of Southern California, ngunit hindi niya ito natapos nang pumutok ang unang digmaang pandaigdig. World War I, so that was the time of Adolf Hitler. Itinigil niya ang kanyang pag-aaral upang sumali sa Allied Forces na ipinadala sa France sa pamumuno ni General Pershing noong 1918. During that time ay halos bumagsak na ang buong Europe sa pananakop ni Adolf Hitler ng Germany. Nang matapos ang digmaan ay muling bumalik si Vicente sa Amerika, ngunit hindi na niya binalikan ang kanyang pag-aaral ng abogasya. Sa halip ay nag-aral siya ng pagkathang pelikula, pag-arte at pagdirek sa Hollywood. Doon siya nagtrabaho bilang extra sa famous players ng Lascay Studio. Kinalaunan ay nagpasya si Vicente na umuwi ng Pilipinas at itinuloy niya ang kanyang karera at pagiging abogado. Noong 1922 ay pumasa siya sa bar exam at naging ganap na siyang abogado sa edad na 30 anyos. Nakapagtrabaho agad siya bilang company lawyer sa Philippine Trust Company. Dahil sa karanasan niya sa Hollywood ay hindi niya mapigilan ang tawag ng lokal na industriya ng pelikula. Nagsimula siyang magtrabaho sa sinematografiya kasama si Jose Nepomuceno, ang direktor ng unang pelikulang Pilipino na Dalagang Bukid. Nasunugan ng kanyang studio si Jose Nepomuceno, ngunit hindi ito naging hadlang at bumili pa rin siya ng mga bagong kagamitan sa paggawa ng pelikula. Nagtayo siya ng panibagong studio at kinuha niyang kasosyo si Vicente Salombides. Unang ginawa ni Vicente ay ang Miracles of Love noong 1925, kung saan ay itinama niya ang mga depekto ng mga nakaraang pelikula. Malawak ang kaalaman ni Vicente dahil sa kanyang exposure sa Hollywood. Siya ang nanguna sa pag-apply ng make-up sa mga artista. Nakita niya ang depekto ng mga pelikula ng direktor sa Hollywood na si Yearsley na kapag walang make-up ang mga artista ay maitim ang labas sa pelikula at masyado namang maputi kapag sobra ang make-up. Napansin din niya ito sa mga naunang pelikula ni Jose Nepomuceno. Maliban sa make-up ay marami pang naipakilala si Vicente sa lokal na pelikula gaya ng close-up at cutback scene. Ang nagsiganap sa pelikulang Miracles of Love ay sina Elizabeth Dimple Cooper, Jose Carvajal, Hermogenes Ilagan at Juanita Angeles. Pumatok ang pelikula sa takilya at pinuri pa ito nina Monsignor Gregorio Aglipay at Felipe Buencamino. Released in 1925, Miracles of Love is a landmark Filipino silent film. It was written, produced, directed, and edited by Vicente Salombides himself. The cinematographer or labman was Jose Nepomuceno. It was widely recognized as Salombides' debut film. The plot of the movie centers on a barrio maiden where parents force her to marry a rich and old man. Defying her family's wishes, she outwits the old man and elopes with her true love, a law student. Vicente also began a film project with the title Tatlong Hambog. It is a silent comedy starring the hunky Luis Tuason, a nationally ranked boxer, and the Filipina-American actress Elizabeth Cooper or Dimple Cooper of the vaudeville stage. It was produced by Jose Nepomuceno. Salombides and his stars dared break the kissing taboo by performing the real thing, a full mouth-to-mouth kiss that was shot against the ruins of the old Guadalupe Church in Makati City. It is today recognized as the first historic escalation in Philippine cinema, and it certainly paved way for more expressive kissing scenes in future Philippine movies. Dahil sa tagumpay ng kanyang mga naunang pelikula ay produce ni Vicente ang kanyang pangalawang masterpiece. Ito ay may pamagat na Fate and Consequence. This time, he did not just direct a film but also starred in it. So, siya ang nag-produce, nagsulat ng kwento, nag-direct at actor sa pelikulang ito. Written into the script was another intense kissing scene. The Manila Carnival of 1926 has ended and Vicente convinced some of the candidates to appear in his film. It includes Muslim princess and former Miss Cotabato, Sofia Lota, whose real name was Pinaganda Magade Sinambal Malibatang. Wow, what a long and unique name. Also cast in the film was Miss Pampanga Rosario Panganiban na nililigawan ni Direktor Salombides noong mga panahon na iyon. Nagkakilala sila ni Rosario dahil sa kaklase niya ang pamangkin ni Vicente na si Nanita sa Centro Escolar de Señoritas na ngayon ay CEU. Nabasa ko sa isang article na sinulat ng isang UP student as part of her school project at na-interview niya mismo si Don Vicente Salombides noong buhay pa ito. The article was about the kissing taboo in the early Philippine cinema. Ayon nga kay Vicente ay naikwento niya na nagselos daw si Rosario Panganiban doon sa kissing scene nila ni Sofia Lota. Like many of the earliest Filipino motion pictures, Fate and Consequence is considered a lost Filipino film with no surviving copies. This movie is another milestone dahil ang mga artista dito ay mga anak ng mga mayaman at nag-aaral sa eksklusibong paaralan. Ito ay upang maiwaksi sa isipan ng mga manunood o ng mga Pilipino ang mga prehuwisyo o prejudice laban sa lokal na pelikula. Noong panahon na yon ay masyadong mababa ang tingin ng mga aristokrata sa mga sarswela at mataas naman kapag ang pelikula ay galing sa Hollywood. Ang sumunod na produce na pelikula ni Vicente ay may pamagat na Soul Saver noong 1927. Ito ay kwento mismo ng kanyang buhay at pag-ibig at bahagi ng pelikula ay mayroong kuha mismo sa kanilang kasal ni Rosario Panganiban. It blends elements of his real-life romance and personal journey. It makes one of the earliest highly personalized narratives in Philippine cinema. Sila mismo ni Rosario ang bida sa pelikula. Pagkatapos may palabas ang Soul Saver at kasal nila ni Rosario, ay tinutukan muna ni Vicente ang kanyang pamilya at pribadong karera. Nagtrabaho muna siya bilang kinatawan sa pamahalaan. Remember, he's a lawyer. Ngunit kasosyo pa rin siya sa Malayan Films ni Jose Nepomuceno. Naging kinatawan siya sa 1935 Philippine Constitutional Convention. It was a historic assembly convened under the Tidings Mac-Juffe Act to draft the fundamental law of the land for the transitional Commonwealth government. The convention opened on July 30, 1934 at the Session Hall of the House of Representatives in Manila. It was composed of 202 popularly elected delegates from across the archipelago. Their primary mandate was to draft a constitution complaint with the United States Tidings Mac-Juffe Act to establish a 10-year transitional Philippine Commonwealth prior to full independence. During that time, under pa rin tayo ng Amerika pagkatapos i-give up or ibenta ng Spain sa Amerika ang Pilipinas noong 1898 under the Treaty of Paris. Well, on this historic convention ay kasama si Vicente Salombides. Habang nagtatrabaho si Vicente sa pamahalaan ay let's have a quick recap lang what happened to Malayan Films of Jose Nepomuceno. In 1931, Malayan Films became Malayan Pictures Corporation at noong 1932 ay naging Nepomuceno Production. Noong 1933 naman ay naging Nepomuceno-Harris Staff Partnership kasama ang mga American producers and directors. Nagkaroon sila ng mga hindi pagkakaintindihan sa pagproduce ng pelikula at noong 1935 ay naging Parlatone Hispano-Filipino Incorporated. Pagkatapos ng convention noong 1935 ay muling bumalik sa paggawa ng pelikula si Vicente noong 1936. Dahil nga selosa si Mrs. ay madalas nagtatrabaho siya sa likod ng kamera. Nagbigay siya ng mga resolution para magustuhan ang pelikula tulad ng paggawa ng close-up para maipakita ang emosyon ng mukha ng gumaganap na aktor at vision naman para mailarawan ang kaisipan ng karakter. Gumamit naman siya ng cutback scene upang mapabilis ang eksena ng katatakutan at aksyon. Upang maiwasan ang mabagal na usad ng sarswela sa mga pelikula ni Nepomuceno ay hinikayat ni Vicente ang mga hindi gumaganap sa sarswela na gumanap sa kanyang pelikula tulad ng mga miyembro ng high society sa Maynila. Taong 1938 ay nagbitiw siya sa tungkulin bilang production manager ng Parlaton Hispano-Filipino Incorporated. Binuo niya ang kanyang Salumbides Film Company Limited. This motion picture company was founded with Mrs. Aurora A. Quezon. The new company's first production was Florante at Laura, a photoplay based on the immortal poem of Francisco Baltazar, or better known as Balagtas, the father of Filipino literature. Florante at Laura was the first Filipino photoplay to use dialogue in verse. It was considered as precedent-making pictures, and only 1/3 of the dialogue came from the book, while 2/3 had to be improvised by Salumbides himself. On one of his later interview, Vicente said this was extremely difficult considering the fact that the dialogue was in verse or patula. Ang mga gumanap sa pelikula ay sila Carlos Padilla bilang Florante, Lila Luna, the Queen of Balagtasan bilang Laura, Rogelio de la Rosa bilang Minandro at ang writer at director ng pelikula na si Nemesio Caravana bilang kontrabidang si Adolfo. Ang pelikula ay pinalabas noong 1940, ang nagastos dito ay 37,000 pesos at kumita ito ng 150,000 pesos, an astronomical figure in those days. On his later interview, Don Vicente said, "We made such a killing that Salumbides Film Company Limited was able to declare dividends just after releasing its very first picture." The enterprising company produced 2 more pictures before the outbreak of World War II. Una ay ang Anghel na Tukso na pinagbidahan ni na Miss Philippines, Amparo Karagdag at Carlos Padilla. Sumunod naman ang Crisanthemo na pinagbidahan ni na Jasmine at Vicente Oliver. Maliban sa pagiging producer ay naging freelance director si Vicente. Dinirik niya ang pre-war version ng pelikulang Ibong Adarna ng LVN Pictures. It was the very first Filipino picture in color. The sequences of the enchanted bird, which changes color 7 times, were all in glorious colors. Vicente was paid 6,000 pesos for making the film and received a bonus of 500 when Ibong Adarna broke all existing records at the box office. Dito nakabawi ang LVN Pictures sa pagkalugi bago ang ikalawang digmaan. During World War II, when the Japanese occupied Manila, they confiscated all the movie equipment. Vicente then engaged in buy and sell, the most lucrative business during the occupation. After the war ay muling bumalik ang sigla ng paggawa ng mga pelikula. Dinirect ni Vicente ang pelikulang Aladdin at ang post-war version ng Florante at Laura para sa LVN Pictures. Ang pre-war version ng Florante at Laura ng Salumbides Film ay kumita ng napakalaki, ngunit natalo ito ng post-war version ng pelikula ng LVN. Although maraming nagsabi na mas maganda pa rin daw ang pre-war version. Nagdirect din ng mga moneymaker na pelikula si Vicente sa Sampaguita Pictures. Una ay ang Sa Kabilang Buhay na base sa kwento ng kanyang buhay. Pangalawa ay ang Biyak na Puso na pinagbidahan ni Oscar Moreno. Hindi ito naipalabas sa publiko dahil kasama itong nasunog sa Sampaguita office noong 1950. Sa isang interview kay Don Vicente Salumbides noong buhay pa ito ay tinanong siya, "How do today's movies differ from yesteryears?" Exciting question, right? He said, while movies have improved in matters of film technique, they have degenerated in storyline. In our time, we knew that a movie was an entertainment vehicle, but we never failed to inject lessons in it. Movies form the greatest medium for educating the masses. Most movies today does not consider morality. Today's photoplays teach the youngsters to rebel against their elders. There is too much emphasis on gangsterism. Present-day movies depict step-by-step formulas for committing crimes. Wow, very well said, Don Vicente. Second question, if he were to name the greatest stars of Philippine movies of the golden age, whom will he pick? For the pre-war movies, he said, I would pick Rosa del Rosario and Rosario Moreno. Among the actresses, among the actors, I'd pick Rogelio de la Rosa and Leopoldo Salcedo. Well, best choice. Today, movie makers, according to Vicente, should be thankful because they are not encountering the same prejudices which pre-war producers encountered. Movies before in the country, he recalls with a bit of nostalgia, movie troopers were frowned upon by the public. This was because many of the stage actresses were indulging frivolities with their directors. I told Jose Pomoceno that we should not follow the example of the stage, that a high standard of morality was needed to make the people appreciate the efforts of the movie troopers. Salombides and Nepomuceno persuaded such stars as Raimonda Guidotti, the daughter of a prominent doctor, Lucita Goyena, Yolanda Marquez, and Amparo Caragdag to enter the movies, thus enhancing the prestige of screen luminaries. John Vicente Salombides and the Pampanga beauty queen Rosario Panganiban have 8 children. Ang isa nilang anak na si Ruby Salombides ay lumabas sa pelikulang Sa Kabilang Buhay na pinalabas ng Sampaguita Pictures noong 1948. Pagkatapos nito ay wala nang sumunod sa yapak ng kanilang mga magulang sa mundo ng pelikula. Ang ilan sa kanilang mga anak, I think, ay nasa mundo ng politika sa kanilang lalawigan sa Quezon, sa Lopez at sa ibang bayan pa. If everybody nowadays, from the humble barrio folk to the city slickers, wants to enter the movies and idolize the movie celebrities, it is because such pioneers as Vicente Salombides and Jose Nepomuceno started the ball rolling for the cause of local movies. Vicente Salombides died on August 7, 1979 due to natural causes at his residence in San Francisco, Quezon City. He was 86 years old, leaving a significant legacy in motion pictures in the Philippines, the innovation. It goes beyond imagination, representing the practical execution of new ideas to create value and acting as differentiator between leadership and stagnation. Key insights from leaders and thinkers highlight this transformative mindset like Vicente Salombides. And that's our video for today. I hope you've learned a lot about the life and works of Vicente Salombides. Hanggang sa muli.